Last Argument of Kings, When the Mask Falls and Evil Triumphs. Part 1. Introduction. The End of All Lies. The Last Argument of Kings. This phrase was famously engraved on the cannons of King Louis XIV of France. It serves as a reminder that when diplomacy fails and words lose their meaning, only cold steel and gunpowder remain to speak the truth. Welcome back to the channel. We have journeyed through the grit of Book 1 and the desperation of Book 2. Now, we face the shocking conclusion of Joe Abercrombie's First Law trilogy. Last Argument of Kings. If you are hoping for a happily ever after, where heroes are rewarded and villains are punished, you have picked up the wrong series. In this finale, Abercrombie shatters every fairy tale expectation, leaving us with a reality so raw and bitter it will haunt you long after you finish. Let's see who really holds the strings when the fog of war finally clears. Part 2. Summary. The War of the Realms. All storylines now converge on the capital city of Adua, which is currently engulfed in a political crisis and a massive foreign invasion. 1. The Rise of a Puppet King. After the old king's death, the unthinkable happens. Jezal Luthar, the once arrogant nobleman who found a spark of humility on his journey, is suddenly crowned king. But Jezal quickly realizes that the crown is not a prize. It is a collar. He is nothing more than a pawn in the hands of the truly powerful. 2. Survival in the North. Logen Ninefingers returns to his homeland to settle his final debt with Bethod. Here we witness the Bloody Nine in his most terrifying form. This war isn't just about land, it's about whether a man can truly escape his violent past. The resolution of this blood feud is enough to make your skin crawl. 3. Glocta and the Shadow Games. Amidst a city under siege and internal treachery, Sand Dan Glocta races against time to consolidate power for his masters. But the deeper he digs into the conspiracies, the more he uncovers a horrifying truth about the person who has been orchestrating everything since the very first page of the first book. 4. The Truth of Bias. The first of the Magi finally reveals his true face. He is not the wise mentor leading heroes to victory. Bias is a cold, calculating pragmatist who views thousands of lives as acceptable losses in his millennial war against his ancient enemies. He isn't the Gandalf of this world. He is something far more dangerous. Part 3. Artistic Highlights. The masterful subversion of character. Joe Abercrombie pulls off a breathtaking reversal in how he concludes his character arcs. Jezal. The only character who genuinely wanted to change and become a better person is stripped of all his agency and power. Logen. The man we loved as a philosophical anti-hero is ultimately revealed to be an irredeemable violence addict who cannot help but destroy everything he touches. Glocta. The character we hated most in Book 1 becomes the one we understand and admire most, simply because of his brutal honesty with himself. Abercrombie's writing in this volume is at its peak, violent, ironic, and razor-sharp. He doesn't describe battles as epic poems. He describes them as ruins, the stench of blood, and the utter pointlessness of death. Part 4. Reflection. The Dark Loop of History. The most profound takeaway from Last Argument of Kings is the cyclical nature of human failure. By the end of the story, the world hasn't really changed for the better. The new rulers are just as cruel as the old ones. New wars are already on the horizon, and the little people continue to be crushed under the boots of the powerful. Abercrombie's message is clear. Human nature does not change. We can change our clothes, our titles, and our borders, but fear and greed will always drive us to repeat the mistakes of the past. It is a bitter pill ending that feels incredibly realistic, setting the First Law apart from almost any other traditional fantasy work. Part 5. Conclusion. Say one thing for Logen Ninefingers. Say one thing for Logen Ninefingers. Say he's a survivor. But what is the price of survival in a world like this? It is loneliness, betrayal, and an endless haunting of the soul. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the First Law trilogy. Did this ending satisfy you? Or did it leave you feeling too bleak? What do you think about the true face of Bayaz? Let's dissect the ending together in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe as we continue to explore high-quality book series. Until next time, and as Logan would say, stay realistic about these things.